Hey everybody, checking in from High Life on the High Line here in the forest home in northwestern Montana. The birds are chirping. It's about 46 degrees out, gentle breeze, and I think the FedEx truck might be coming. Anyway, life is not exactly what I was expecting it to be this winter. As you can see, it's not really winter. So if you saw some of my former videos, I got some a yarn machine. It's a circular sock knitting machine. Hold that thought. Here they come. Good thing the dogs are in. I'm expecting something from Sam's Club, I think. Okay, FedEx is gone now. I got stuff from Sam's. Anyway, so I got home like late on Wednesday, right before Christmas, I suppose the 18th or so. And on the 20th, I'm not sure what day of the week it was, Chef Louis, was coming home from the West Kootenai, our friends that are Amish over there. He was over there a late night run, and he had gone over to the Flathead Valley, come back all through some snow and everything, dropped off his friend, and on the way home, coming around downhill and through the S curves and everything, he probably was on a straight stretch when it started, but the back end swayed out of control, probably due to the weather, and he tried to recover in one ditch and the other ditch and ended up upside down against some trees off to the side. Very luckily, it was not a cliff, because there are some very steep drop-offs on that road. So his truck is totaled and we're down to one vehicle. So that changes things a little bit as far as who has medical appointments and who needs to be available. So another thing that happened was the day of Christmas evening. I was taking some food outside to keep cold. We had decided not to go to our neighbor's family's invite in Columbia Falls for Christmas dinner because Louis was feeling kind of beat up from his wreck, and thankfully I call him my little Christmas miracle. Anyway, the two of us were kind of a mess on Christmas night. I was carrying a Corningware pot of yams outside, and my slipper slipped in between this little kind of a wooden ramp that we have by the door. There's one on the inside and on the outside, and that inside one always comes away from the slider, and my toe went in between it, and I tripped and I went flying with that casserole dish in my arms. Luckily it wasn't burning hot because I had yam juice all over me, and it landed in this it wasn't full of wood at the time, but it landed and broke in a bazillion pieces. Actually, the lid was intact except for one chip, but we threw all that away. And I'd kind of laid there stunned for a while. I must have put my hands out and I landed on bent elbows. My left fist was actually like right here when I landed, so I really thought I'd have a shiner, and I didn't. And then I landed on my right knee, so that had a big rug burn, and my forearm had a rug burn. Anyway, I just thought I hurt my knee, which was a bummer because that's the one that bothered me all summer, that I injured in May. And I had an injection in it in November, so it was doing better. Anyway, I feared injuring that again. Kind of rolled over, got my bearings, and got myself up. And I didn't know that I hurt my hip. So that night was absolutely miserable. I ended up taking a muscle relaxant. The outside of my right butt cheek and my right groin were just screaming in pain. And so the next few days was better and better. I suspect that I probably tore my hip capsule or my cartilage. So in about 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, if that's not better, then I'll have to probably get it looked into, but I think it's healing. I do need to strengthen that hip anyway because of my injury all summer. That whole leg has gotten weaker. Anyway, I guess it's a good thing I did get my left knee replaced a few years ago because that leg is carrying me now. Yeah, so things have been hampered a bit with some car issues and injuries. And then my Amish friend asked me if I was available to help take care of a gentleman who is on hospice. And she cleans their house, but asked if I would be available to do some caregiving. Even though I haven't been working, in the medical field anymore, I do enjoy caregiving. And I think around here it's really hard to find people. So, what do I have really going on? I'm just kind of hanging out most days unless I actually have something scheduled, which would probably be recreational anyway, unless we have to go shopping or to medical appointments. So I said yes, and I committed to a whole day. The other day, actually, it was about 10 hours. And then I committed to doing Saturdays and Sundays for 4 hours for the next few weeks, foreseeably, depending on how long this gentleman survives. So where was I? I lost my train of thought. Oh, so after the 10-hour day that I thought was going to be not quite so long, I kind of had a feeling that the lady would call me, and she has cancer herself. So, I just thought, I have time. Why not help them out? Well, anyway, I told her to let me know what she needed, and so far it's just 4 hours on Saturday and Sunday, and so I'd be glad to do that. Okay, after another interruption. Anyway, so I committed to do that. Okay, so besides that and hanging out at home and just maybe having some visits with friends, there's not a lot really else going on. Been making bread. I made some soft pretzels. I think I posted that once. And I made some homemade Butterfingers. I posted that. I'm thinking about some granola and maybe some kind of energy bites with maybe some coconut. I save all these videos I find on Facebook and think, oh, I'm going to make that. I'm going to make this. I'm going to make that. So I got to look up some and find some new things to try. We got some bones, chicken bones, so I'd like to make some bone broth. Actually take some of that to the gentleman that's on hospice. I think he would really like that, have something a little more nourishing than like powdered broth. So I will update some cranking videos, some sock making, show you some things that I've made new from the last time. And that's really about it for now. For dinner tonight, this is cold now, so the fat congealed, but this is actually a pork shoulder roast that I seasoned and seared and put in some old apple cider that I had. And I like to make crunch wraps, usually with like ground beef, cheese, tomatoes, sour cream, normal Tex-Mex. And tonight, actually, I think I'm going to put a little twist on these and do this kind of apple-infused pulled pork with some sauerkraut and some barbecue dressing or barbecue sauce on it. I'm trying to think what else to put in there, and I thought about Swiss cheese. Kind of almost like a Reuben, but with pork, or maybe a Cuban Reuben. Okay, that's it. I'll add some other videos. So here's a pair we call Franken socks. The heels and toes are different, and they're a little short pair. I like short socks a lot of the time with regular shoes. And so they're actually quite soft and cushy, this blue. Anyway, this is part cashmere, part wool yarn with a little bit of polyester in it. As you can see, it's rather, can stand up on its own. It's almost red, white, and blue. It's more like a mauve or a rose pink, white, and blue. And then this is a pair I made for Louie's sister. She said she likes pinks and mauves. And these are, I think, don't know what kind of wool. Little rougher, but Made those for her. She's about a size 9. And so they're a little bit tight on me, so probably perfect. I'm like a 9.5, 10. So that's what we got going for socks now. I'll also post a pair of Louis' very Franken socks.
What you doing, making a cone?
Yeah, my drill's dying.
I'll get you a fresh battery. All right, fresh battery. Give it some gas. What you doing, making a cone?
Yeah, my drill's dying.
I'll get you a fresh battery. All right, fresh battery. Give it some gas.